Hey strangers, how's it going? So hi, hello, if this is your first time seeing my face, my name is Kayla and this is my space to talk about all things horror. Today I'm just going to do a quick summary and review of The Watchers. So this is a rare instance where I actually went to the movies to watch a movie. I rarely go. A lot of the time, I don't have anyone to go with because a lot of my friends and the other people in my life don't like horror. So that's why I made this channel, to connect with you guys. So often I don't really have anyone to go with. I'm going to start saying fuck it and just going on my own. My mom went with me because my mom is actually a really big horror fan, and I jokingly said to her that I was going to force her to see Longlegs with me in July, and so she said, as long as you go see The Watchers with me, I will see whatever that movie is with you. So we went to see The Watchers, and this movie was written and directed by Ishana Night Shyamalan, who is M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. And it's based on a 2022 novel of the same name by A.M. Shine. So the gist of this movie is that it takes place in Ireland. It stars Dakota Fanning as Mina, and she is tasked with, she works at a pet shop, and she's tasked with bringing this conure, I think it is, this parrot, up to a zoo up north or something like that. And in order to get there, she's got to traverse through this like very thick forest, this forested area. And of course, you know, her car breaks down and she ends up in the territory of the Watchers. And she is taken in by a group of people who have been there for an extended period of time, into this building that they call the Coop, which is like a concrete building with a window. It's a window by day, and by night it kind of turns into like a one-way mirror. They see the mirror, the Watchers can see inside as a window. And the idea is that at night, the Watchers come and just watch them. And they don't know anything about these Watchers. They don't know who they are, what they look like, what their deal is, why they're keeping them trapped there, anything like that. But Mina meets Madeline, who is an older woman, Daniel, a young man, and Sierra, I think it's Sierra, who is another young woman who's staying in the coop. And Sierra came with her husband, John, who went missing. So I'm not going to give away the ending. If you're anything like me, you will assume, because it's a Shyamalan movie, that there's a twist, and you would be correct. I guessed the twist probably like halfway through the movie. I wasn't exactly on the ball, but I was pretty correct. I don't really know what to make of this one. I almost want to read the book, the source material, because I wonder how the actual story goes and if it's, you know, an interesting and compelling story. There were plenty of times during the movie where I looked over at my mom and we were both just kind of like, what? Like, none of this makes any sense. So while I was watching the film, I was kind of making a mind map where I was trying to determine what story I thought the film was trying to tell. And it just feels, the plot feels very disjointed, and so does the subtext of the film, I guess. That's why I wonder what the source material is like. I mean, what's the book about? What does it convey, and how does it convey it? Because the movie didn't really do a very good job. You know, there's a shot in the beginning when Mina is working at the pet store where a news anchor is talking about like deforestation in Ireland. So I thought, okay, you know, maybe this is a movie about the ecological impact of like consumerism and deforestation and stuff like that, especially because we get these beautiful drone shots of the Irish countryside, just like absolutely gorgeous. And it does kind of loop back to that at some point. But I'm also wondering, you know, is it about trauma? Because Mina has experienced a pretty significant trauma in her life that has heavily impacted her and made her the person that she is today. There were also some repetitive, like, I don't know if I would call them overarching themes, but like, I don't know, tidbits of something here and there. So for example, you know, there's the mirror that they have to face every single night. And the mirror is mirrored again when we find out, and this is not a spoiler because we don't go anywhere with this in the story, but we find out that Mina is actually a twin. So she has a twin sister. And there's the parrot, the conure that she's taking everywhere with her. He makes it to the end of the movie. He makes it out safe. The parrot's mimic. So he repeats the same phrase over and over and again. And then we see Mina do that to her mother to mock her and annoy her when she's a kid. So, there's echoes of these different themes or different ideas that are popping up in the movie, and we do absolutely nothing with them. Nothing at all. There's also like a potential for a theme about, having to look at that mirror and perform. So, there's this aspect of the 4 people performing for the Watchers every night. And since we don't know who the Watchers are and they don't know who the Watchers are, could this be commentary on Hollywood, on social media, on, just the world watching us? No, that's not what the movie's about, like, at all. At all. Like I said before, the plot is very disjointed. The pacing was very, very weird. Like, there were points in the movie where, so for example, there's a scene where I think Mina is out in the middle of the woods and she's exploring the woods, and when she returns, like the second she returns, there's this tone shift where Madeline is like, Mina, let me explain the rules that the Watchers have for us. It's like, what? Nobody asked. What do you mean? What are the rules? Like, why are you just telling this to her now? She's been there for like 2 days. It's just bizarre. Someone in the comment section of Letterboxd also mentioned that Sierra has knowledge of the edible plants that are local to this forest, and that helps them to survive because she's gathering medicinal plants and she's gathering plants that they could eat. We never hear about that again. There's like one scene where she's talking to Mina about, this is this plant and it helps with headaches. Cool. No, apparently not a big deal, even though that would wrap into the overarching theme of the film. I think what was most frustrating to me was that, again, doesn't really spoil the film, but there's a connection here with Irish folklore. And what's frustrating to me is that Ireland is so rife with folklore, going back to the Celtic people and Druids and, all of these really interesting themes and stories and myths that they could have built upon, that are not real, but they're real stories that people have told throughout the course of written history in Ireland. And without giving anything away, like, I don't know that I've ever heard this particular subject of myth played out like this. So I guess maybe I could research it a little bit, but so I don't even really know that this is a form that this story or this myth or this legend could take. And it just felt very poorly crafted to me. And I think overall, I'm not really a big fan of creature feature movies because I think that they always tend to, especially with the modern CGI, they tend to be really disappointing when we finally see the creature or monster. If we ever see the creature or monster, with few exceptions. I get really freaked out by super, super big things, or like the idea of really big things. So like there was that scene in The Mist where the giant creature is walking by, and that's CGI, and that freaks me out still to this day. But anyway, Cobweb was another movie, a total misuse of Anthony Starr, by the way, where we saw the creature, which wasn't even necessary, and it just ruined the entire movie for me anyways. The reason why I tend to stick to like psychological horror as one of my favorite subgenres is that whatever you as an individual can imagine in your head is going to be scarier to you than anything that anybody can think of that might be putting a movie out. So, it's just, I said to my mom when we were done with this movie that Little Miss Nepo Baby needs to go back to film school because this wasn't it. It wasn't it. I think in a day and age where people are starting to grow tired of influencers, celebrities, the elite, the ultra wealthy, and nepotism hires, especially in Hollywood, you can't really rely on a famous mommy or daddy to boost you up. You have to have something that is really rock solid. And this, sorry, girly pop, this was not it. So, do I recommend you go see this movie? No. Wait until it comes on streaming. I would say don't even rent it. Wait until it comes on HBO, whatever it's called now, Prime, Netflix, so that you don't have to pay anything extra for it. It's really not that great. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd, and apparently that is generous because most people seem to have given it 2.5 stars. People really did not like this movie, so I was not alone in that. But, you know, if you're gonna see it anyways, let me know. If you already saw it, tell me your thoughts. If you read the book, I'm really interested in what you thought of the book and if it was a good read. And maybe I'll check it out. But next movie I'm going to see in the theater is Long Legs in July, and we'll see what I think of that one. Let's see if it lives up to the hype. But I will see you very soon in the next one. Bye, strangers.